I might be out of blue in a minute.
Oh boy.
That's funny.
Another 35 facts.
Hey, I'm Jeff. Remember how in episode 1 of With Jeff, I played the banjo for you? Got the banjo right here. If not, go back and look at that episode. I'll wait. Oh, welcome back. The past few weeks of production on this episode have been nothing short of grueling, and I haven't quite taken any more banjo lessons, but I'm going to give it another shot this week and see how it goes. So hold on. Nope. Looks like you can't learn anything as complicated as the banjo just by storing it in the corner and letting your cats throw up on it. Yeah, they threw up on my banjo. But that brings me to something important. Today on the show, I'll be exploring some cat-related stuff, especially why cats are better than dogs, and I'll also be interviewing Kate Gennelly, founder and cat owner and leader at Paint with Kate. It's a paint night that happens right here in town at Tosca Restaurant. Lastly, I'll fulfill my promise to you of giving some actual value from the show. Coming up at the end of this episode is a tip that anyone who owns a house or is selling a house has to know. Seriously. So, without any more concertos or however you pronounce that, or blind strumming, let's get into it. This is With Jeff. Roll intro. I never get tired of that intro. It's so fantastic. We're only a few episodes into With Jeff. So here's the bread and butter. Oh, bread and butter. I didn't even have lunch today. Don't distract me, Belly. We've got some food segments on future shows and we'll get those in. So that said, here's the gist of With Jeff. I show up with a banjo. I'm Jeff. I give you a nice preview of what's on the show, and then we get into discussions. These are my opinions, but I welcome yours. So if you want to get in touch with me and share your opinions, reach out to Harbor Media in Hingham or go to withjeff.com and leave a comment. As I've indicated, this show is With Jeff. I'm Jeff. Now we're all together on the adventure of a lifetime. You got it? We'll explore a little. We'll learn a lot. My main goal here is to give you some stuff that brightens your day, unless you're a horrible person. If you're a horrible person, I hope everything I share darkens and ruins your entire life. But there are probably only a few of you watching, so don't worry about that. I'll do this for about 15 to 30 minutes, so if you can go grab a refreshing beverage and get comfy, let's get this journey on With Jeff underway. Let's talk pets, shall we? Even though people are actually animals, we often see fit to capture and domesticate other animals for companionship and service. I'm sure you've seen this phenomenon. From horses to pigs to chimps to iguanas to ferrets and snakes, people will try and turn any animal into a plaything, which makes me wonder what we'd do if aliens came down from outer space and did the same to our civilization. It's the simple position that I believe cats are far superior to dogs as pets. We're not going to cover any of those other animals. That's right, I said it. Cats are better. But I will give you a well-reasoned, fine-mannered, entertaining argument to support this statement with facts. So hang on and listen closely. Fact 1, dogs cannot look after themselves. Please show me someone who can go on vacation for more than 14 hours without completely freaking out because someone has to walk, feed, and dote on their fur baby. Cats, on the other hand, are actually very self-sufficient. Leave out some food, ensure they have access to a litter box and some water, and you can go away for months at a time without anyone looking in on them. They take care of themselves. Cats are better. While this nonchalance might be viewed as a negative factor by dog people, it's one of the primary reasons cats are so great. Having a dog is akin to having a baby without the intimacy, the 9-month pregnancy, and the birthing process. Otherwise, it's the same thing. A dog ties you to the house the same way some owners tie their dog outside and let it bark incessantly for days at a time. In fact, the real puzzle to me, and I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, is why so many newlyweds start planning a family, get pregnant, have a baby, and then they go get a dog. They already have an animal that ties them to the house and requires constant attention. For God's sake, concentrate on bringing up the human in your life. You don't need a distraction like a puppy. I am getting a little worked up, taking a deep breath, little zen here. As I go down this ranting road, I'm noticing that my blood pressure is a little up, and I'm cognizant of the fact I'm focusing on the negatives. Maybe I should talk about the positive dog stuff we all love. I actually do love dogs. I was brought up with Newfoundlands. But when's the last time you were walking through the cool grass in the summer on your lawn in bare feet and squished into a pile of cat poop? Oh, never, you say? Me either. Here's fact 2. I am positive that dogs relieve themselves wherever and whenever they want, and a good percentage of their owners fail to clean this up after them. Even dog owners complain about other dog owners and their shortcomings when it comes to maybe leaving some droppings around the neighborhood. Seriously. When you got into the situation of saving a dog, if that's how you got your dog, that's a noble pursuit. That's great. Save a pound dog, help the population. But buying a purebred is a little more entitled and silly in my mind, as there are plenty of pound dogs around that you could save. But when you got your dog, you fully understood about this droppings equation, or you have blinders on. So now you're dealing with a beast that keeps you tied to your home and goes to the bathroom all over creation. That's a winning combination. But let's put this back on track. I'm a little calmer now. We'll run right through this. Let me list out the positive facts about cats that have been substantiated via millions of cat videos and by a similar number of people testifying, cat owners testifying how great cats are. Cats are cute, and they stay pretty cute through their entire lives. They have personalities, they're fantastic. Dogs, they start out cute, and then they can become ugly. Cats are inquisitive and generally kind, unless they knock stuff off shelves or do stuff like that. But you certainly roll the dice with dogs. They can be horrible little biting machines, or they can be lovable, drooly mammoths. But unless you train them correctly, and that's another point, you are rolling the dice with a dog. Cats don't need to be trained, but you can train them. They do things like use the toilet, play the piano, see keyboard cat, and they can fetch. With dogs, they require training. The best dog I ever met was Fletcher, rest in peace. And my brother Ben trained him about 16 hours a day for 6 months. That's what it takes to get a dog who behaves and listens to you. Let's go back to the newlywed family with the screaming baby and the untrained puppy equation. With a newborn baby, who's going to have time or energy to train a dog properly? It doesn't make sense. Lastly, let's look at Hingham and its struggles of late with the dog owner population. To what do I refer? Oh, the stupid request that dogs be let off leash while they're walked in town, certain areas of town. Doesn't that just negate the whole premise of walking your dog? I thought there was a leash law. We have that for a reason. That reason is actually detailed in Sherlock Holmes' Hound of the Baskervilles, where wild hounds ripped animals and people to shreds because they were untrained and unleashed. Come on, if your dog isn't at least as well trained as Fletcher was, then you have no business strolling near your dog while it roams free to go to the bathroom anywhere and attack anything it wants. Are the people in this town so in touch with the souls of their dogs that they feel bad that these dogs have to be on a leash? That just makes me shake my head. And before you start in on cats being unleashed, I walk our cats. And I have also trained them to come on command and do a number of other tricks. If I hadn't, do you think I'd be ranting about dog owners? Glass house theory, I'm not going to rant about dogs if I haven't done the same for my cats. So let's look at these takeaways before we move into the next segment. Number 1, dogs can be fantastic. Again, Fletcher, if their owners are also fantastic and dedicated to obeying the law and training their pets. 2, there's no sane reason for Hingham to have a law that allows dogs off leash to roam free as long as a citizen has paid for a permit to do so. If the town needs money, they should enforce a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit downtown, and they should write some more tickets for cars parked illegally in handicap zones and 15-minute spaces. Oh, wow. Oh, number 3, cats are great. I think that about covers it. I welcome your thoughts and comments. If you're a dog owner who believes they are the exception to the rule, Get in line. Everyone believes this. Just like they believe their children is the best, they believe their dog is the best. Breathing now, I got that out of my system. Next up, let's talk with Kate Gennelly and Paint with Kate. Hey, when's the last time you went out and had some pure fun? Are you creative? Can you draw? Well, Kate Gennelly showed me the other night that I actually have some skill.
It's Paint with Kate, and I do it once a month here on the third Tuesday.
What compelled you to go teach people how to do this stuff, do your true love?
Well, actually, it wasn't my idea. I can't take the credit for that. Old schoolmate of mine, we met up a few years ago, and we started a business called The Burbs Paint Class. And one of our venues was here at Tosca, and she's moved on to other things, and I held on to this class. And I just turned the name to Paint with Kate because it's just me at first. But now I have someone else with me. I have Melissa Spies. She's a wonderful artist, and she's been assisting me for the last 3 years, I believe. I teach the way that I was taught when I was 7 years old. I keep it very basic, so any beginner can come in and feel comfortable. There are no rules, there are no mistakes, and it's just the main focus of this is to just get away from the everyday and enjoy yourself. It's supposed to be no pressure and to take you away from your everyday and just escape for a little bit.
Where do you come up with the ideas for different things to paint?
Well, that's a tough one. Do a lot of different seasonal paintings, I would say mostly. This particular one, I'm now starting to get back into some of the masters that people recognize the names and things like that. So maybe we'll try and do a different master every now and then, master painting, like copy, if you will.
So it's almost a theme, and a Renoir might be a certain style, and then a Van Gogh might be a different style. So you're just bringing that to the classes. How do people respond to something that might seem, I don't know, advanced, if you mention these masters?
Well, Impressionism is really kind of a loose style. And I do encourage everybody to develop their own individual style as well. It doesn't have to look exactly like the painting. It's definitely yours. It's your own. And that's what I want someone to come out of this class with, is that they not necessarily learn something from me, but they learn something about themselves. It is fulfilling to see people enjoy what they're doing and be happy with something that they created and go home with that at the end of the evening.
If someone wanted to sign up for the class, how do they do that? How do they find you?
Generally, I'm on Facebook, also on Eventbrite. A lot of my things are on the Eventbrite page.
All right, we're going to start with doing our blue exercise. So we dip your brush in the water.
Any brush?
Your largest brush. Dip it in the water. Dip it in the blue. Bring it onto your mixing palette. Oh, he needs a rag.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. Keep your rag near your water. It's always a good thing to do. And then you can add a little white to the blue as well if it's too dark of a color for you. And then just different strokes on there, all the way to about a third up from the painting, or whatever.
This is just to get you like comfortable
Quarter,
with
really.
the brush and the brush strokes
And how the paint moves, how much water you might need, how much paint you might need. Right now, we're going to keep the paint a little bit on the thinner side because we want it to dry. But just slap it on in any direction.
I paint murals with Kate outside of here, and we do these classes together. And yeah, I'm still young, but I'm definitely making my name in the town and trying to get my art out there myself.
How would people, if they were interested in getting a pet portrait or some other mural painted, get in touch with you?
So it's at melissa.spimpl.com. Everyone surprises themselves in these paint classes. They come in and they say, I've never picked up a paintbrush before. And then they surprise themselves at the end and they say, did I paint this? And I'm like, yep, you did it, because everyone has a hidden talent they just don't know about.
Okay, now we're nearly at the end of paint night. We're here with Katie, and we're looking at what she's come up with, which, if you compare it to the cheat sheet that I got earlier, This looks a lot closer to the result you should get, other than really what I have, which is sort of like a fallout shelter compared to this whole thing. So, Katie, how do you judge how people do when they come to these paint nights?
Well, it depends on how serious you want to take it, first of all. And I don't want you to take it seriously. I want you to have fun.
This was so much fun, and I'm thrilled that you're doing something that just invigorates you and makes you happy and gives you a connection to the community and to a lot of people who love art.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad you came tonight and actually tried.
That was great. It was so much fun being there with Kate. And you know the best part about Paint with Kate? No dogs. I'm kidding. Our next segment is some useful information you can use if you're selling or buying a home. It's a secret many folks won't share with you because it's so common. People even think it's an approved method of property sales, but it's not. Get ready to go behind the curtain and actually learn something about real estate here in Massachusetts. By the way, you know how television commercials often have actors who plead with viewers that they are an actor and not actually an attorney or doctor or some sort of professional? They say that so they don't get sued and to cover their butts in case someone takes them seriously. Well, I'm not going to do that with this next segment because I actually am a realtor and licensed here in Massachusetts to buy and sell property on behalf of clients. That said, I'd like to share a tip for which many of you will thank me. And for those folks who have recently sold a home, you'll nod knowingly when you hear this tip. The one thing I am ethically bound to share is that this segment is not a solicitation for your business if you're already represented by an agent. This is just information I'm sharing based on my experience and training as a licensed realtor. Quick background statement for you. For every single home on which I was a seller's agent over the course of my entire real estate career, I have received a full price offer in under 24 hours. That means for each home I listed, I had a full price offer in hand from a qualified buyer within a day of listing that property. That statement is not to convince you to hire me. It's to show you I have a certain acumen when it comes to pricing and listing homes here in Mass. So here's the tip I promised. You can roll up your sleeves and start to write this down. Before you hire an agent to represent you in the sale of your home, make sure that agent is on the same page with you and has asked you what your ultimate goal is in selling the property. That's vital. That's like step one. Because if an agent does not take your ultimate goal into account when listing the home, they may fall into a trap of asking too much money for the property. And it really is a trap because homes that are listed for too high a price can sit on the market for a long time and waste your time, your energy, and ultimately money. If you're serious about selling your home, then be sure you're listing it at a fair price based on at least 3 comparable properties in the area and on the conditions of the current market. I've seen dozens of homes with signs that say new price, reduced, price reduction, just dropped, and I have personally given my sales price estimate to no fewer than half a dozen homeowners in the past 5 years who decided to go and cash in with another agent instead of just getting the sale. These 6 homes, and I looked back on them, were listed with other agents or brokers who eventually reduced the price on the homes right back to the price I originally quoted them. In one case, a home sat on the market for sale for 24 full months before finally selling at exactly the price I quoted based on the comps that I had done. If you're not being greedy and chasing that cash-in strategy, then find an agent who takes your ultimate goal into account and who values your time. It's silly to keep your home in pristine, unlived-in condition while it sits on the market with the price being reduced regularly. You have to keep it clean and do open houses repeatedly for what could be years until it sells. That's it. That's a simple tip. So, homeowners en masse, I hope that helps you gain some clarity on how to work with an agent and select the right one for your property. Because ultimately, when you sell a property here in Mass, you should know what your goals are, what you want to get as a return on that property, and you should have a good relationship with the agent you're working with. That's it. Episode 2 of With Jeff is a wrap. I'm looking forward to future shows, some of which are already underway, including interviews with folks who actually knit for a living, cheesemakers and how their lives have changed since learning how to make cheese, public service folks like police officers and firefighters and their take on the dangers of their jobs and the environment that we're living in today, more musical guests, the folks who started Orange Theory, and a slew of other rants, topics, and learning segments for you to enjoy. I'll catch you next time right here with Jeff on With Jeff. Thanks for watching. Hey, this is With Jeff, and if you want to connect with the show, talk to me, leave comments, see past episodes, it's all available online at withjeff.com. You can also go over to youtube.com/harbormedia, and you can spend some more time with me, with Jeff. Thanks.
Another day in the city, and 1 month from the phone. Another week on those side streets, another hour alone. I was a fact.